They found her alive after 1612 days in a basement prison. The influencer who vanished without a trace. The girl whose smile lit up millions of screens. Gone in an instant from a Texas forest. No goodbye. No evidence. Just an empty van and a mystery that consumed the internet for 5 years. But the truth? The truth was so much darker than anyone imagined. And tonight, I'm going to tell you exactly what happened to Riley Harper. Imagine this. A young woman in her prime, living the dream most people only scroll through on their phones. She's got hundreds of thousands of followers hanging on her every post. Sunsets over canyons, hidden waterfalls in national parks, cozy nights in a tiny home on wheels that she built herself. Her smile lights up screens across the country. She's free. She's fearless. She's alive in a way that makes the rest of us feel stuck. Then, poof, gone. No goodbye video. No cryptic last post. No signs of struggle. Just silence. Her van, her entire world, found abandoned at the edge of a dense Texas forest in late 2020. Doors unlocked. Wallet on the passenger seat. Phone fully charged, sitting right there like she'd stepped out for a quick photo and never came back. Food in the fridge. Clothes folded. Everything exactly as it should be, except her. For 5 long years, the internet obsessed. Theories exploded. Accident. Foul play. Voluntary disappearance. Something darker. Rewards climbed into 6 figures. Strangers became detectives. Families grieved without closure. And the question that haunted everyone, what really happened to Riley Harper? If you're new to Cold Case YTJ, smash that subscribe button right now. We dive deep into cases like this that refuse to let go. Hit the notification bell so you never miss when we crack open the next cold case. And drop a like if you've ever wondered what lurks in the shadows of those perfect travel feeds. Share this video with someone who loves mysteries that need solving. Buckle up. This one's going to stay with you. Riley Harper was born in a quiet suburb outside Seattle, Washington, in 2001, the only child of Emily and Mark Harper. Emily worked as a high school English teacher, soft-spoken, the kind of mom who kept every school project in labeled boxes. Mark was a mechanic, hands always stained with grease, but he could fix anything. Cars, broken hearts, you name it. They weren't rich, but they were steady. Riley grew up with stability, love, and an itch she could never quite scratch. The need to see what was beyond the next hill. From the time she was little, Riley collected maps. Not digital ones. Real crinkly paper maps. She'd spread them across the living room floor and trace routes with her finger, whispering state names like incantations. Montana. Arizona. Maine. Her parents thought it was a phase. It wasn't. By high school, Riley was already different. While classmates obsessed over prom and college applications, she saved every penny from babysitting and part-time coffee shop jobs. At 17, she bought a beat-up 2005 Ford Econoline van for $4,200. Mark helped her gut it, insulate it, install solar panels and a tiny kitchen. Emily sewed curtains from thrift store fabric. By graduation, the van had a name. Wanderlust. Riley painted it matte black with gold constellations on the sides. It wasn't fancy, but it was hers. She started posting in 2018 under the handle Riley on the road. Simple at first. Grainy iPhone photos of hikes, cheap diner meals, sunrises from Walmart parking lots. But Riley had a gift. Her captions were honest, funny, vulnerable. Day 47. Realized I forgot how to use a real shower. Send help or dry shampoo. People related. Comments poured in. Followers climbed. 10,000. 50,000. 200,000 by early 2020. She quit her part-time job the week she turned 19. I'm going all in, she told her mom over FaceTime. The road's calling. I have to answer. Emily cried. Mark hugged her tight and said, just promise you'll check in every few days. Riley promised. She left Seattle in June 2020, right as the world was locking down from the pandemic. National parks were half empty. Roads were quiet. It felt like the country belonged to her. She drove south through Oregon, hit the redwoods, then east into Nevada. Posts came daily. Boondocking in the desert, swimming in hidden hot springs, cooking ramen on a propane stove while coyotes howled. Sponsors trickled in. Van life gear, outdoor apparel. She made enough to keep gas in the tank and coffee in her mug. Her last scheduled post was October 12, 2020. A boomerang video of her waving from the driver's seat somewhere in New Mexico. Caption. Heading into Texas next. Big skies, big adventures. Who's with me? Hashtag van life. Hashtag Riley on the road. Then nothing. For 3 days, fans noticed. Comments asked if she was okay. Internet spotty. Taking a break. By day 4, worry turned to panic. A follower in Seattle direct messaged Emily. Have you heard from Riley? She's gone quiet. Emily called. No answer. Mark called. Voicemail. They waited another day. Maybe bad signal. Maybe she was deep in a park. On October 17, Emily filed a missing person report with Seattle PD. Detectives took it seriously. Young woman, solo traveler, social media presence. But advised waiting 24 more hours. The next morning, a Texas state trooper patrolling a remote stretch of Farm to Market Road 1706 near the Sam Houston National Forest spotted something odd. A black van, nose deep in brush just off the shoulder. Driver's door ajar. License plate matched Riley's registration. They ran it. The owner was reported missing. The scene was eerie in its normalcy. No broken windows. No blood. No signs of a fight. Inside, Riley's laptop, open on the fold-out table, still at 68% battery. Her phone, iPhone 11, on the counter, missed calls stacking up. Wallet with $187 cash, credit cards, ID. Backpack with clothes, camera, journal. The journal's last entry, dated October 11th. Found the most beautiful overlook today. Felt like the only person in the world. Grateful. Food in the mini fridge. Half-eaten yogurt, apples, bread. Bed made. Solar light still charged. Even her favorite blanket, blue fleece with stars, was folded neatly. The van had been there at least a day or two. Leaves and dirt had started collecting on the windshield. Tire tracks suggested it pulled off slowly, not in a hurry. No footprints leading away. Rain had softened the ground, but nothing clear. Texas Rangers and FBI joined local sheriff's deputies. They canvassed the area. The forest was thick. Pine, oak, underbrush that swallowed sound. Search dogs picked up no scent trail beyond 50 yards. Drones flew grids. Volunteers from nearby towns showed up with ATVs. Riley's parents flew down immediately. Emily stood at the tree line, whispering, "Come back to us, baby." Mark stared at the van like it might give answers if he looked hard enough. Social media erupted. Hashtag Find Riley Harper trended nationwide. Influencers Riley had collaborated with posted tributes. A GoFundMe for search efforts raised $180,000 in days. True crime forums dissected every post she'd ever made. Was there a stalker? An ex? A random predator? Police released a statement. No evidence of foul play at this time. We are treating this as a missing person case and exploring all possibilities. But privately, investigators were stumped. No ransom note. No body. No witnesses. Just a perfectly preserved life. Abandoned. And somewhere out there, Riley Harper was either hiding, running, or waiting for someone to find her. The moment Texas Department of Public Safety confirmed the van belonged to Riley Harper, the case stopped being just another missing person file in a rural county. It became national. Within hours of the discovery on October 18, 2020, the story hit every major outlet. CNN ran a breaking news ticker. Popular travel influencer Riley Harper, 19, vanishes in Texas. Van found abandoned near National Forest. Fox News framed it as a cautionary tale for young women traveling alone. BuzzFeed posted a listicle. 10 eerie details from Riley Harper's last posts that will give you chills. TikTok exploded with hashtag Find Riley Harper stitches. Teens lip syncing to her old vlogs. Recreating her signature wave from the van outro. Crying on camera about how she could have been my sister. By day 3, the hashtag had over 1.2 million posts. Back in the field, the real work began. The Sam Houston National Forest search was massive and maddening. Texas Rangers coordinated with the U.S. Forest Service, FBI's Behavioral Analysis Unit, Texas EquiSearch volunteers, local fire departments, and even Civil Air Patrol planes. Over 400 people combed a 15-mile radius around the van in the first week. They used grid patterns, shoulder-to-shoulder lines moving slowly through pine thickets, calling her name. Cadaver dogs worked in shifts. Air-scent dogs tried to pick up any living trail. Nothing. Ground-penetrating radar scanned likely burial sites. Old logging roads, clearings. Negative. Divers searched nearby creeks and the East Fork of the San Jacinto River. No phone, no clothing, no signs of drowning. The van itself became the centerpiece of the investigation. FBI techs towed it to a secure facility in Houston under forensic tarps. They processed every inch. Fingerprints. Riley's prints everywhere. Steering wheel, fridge handle, laptop keys. A few partials that didn't match her or her parents. None in AFIS, the automated fingerprint identification system. DNA. Hair in the shower drain consistent with Riley's color and length. Skin cells on bedding. No foreign male DNA profile strong enough for Cody's upload, the combined DNA index system. Digital forensics. Phone unlocked easily. She used her birthday. Last outgoing text was to her mom at 3:47 p.m. on October 11th. Made it to the forest. Signal might be spotty for a few days. Love you. Last location ping. October 11th, 8:12 p.m., within 200 yards of where the van was found. Laptop browser history showed Google Maps directions to a scenic overlook 12 miles away, then back to the van's coordinates. Open tabs included Pinterest boards for winter van insulation ideas and an email draft to a sponsor. Hey team, Texas is unreal. Got some killer shots today. Sending soon. Journal. Handwritten entries stopped October 11th. Final line. Sometimes I wonder if anyone would notice if I just disappeared into the trees for good. Not in a dark way. Just freedom. No suicide note. No cry for help. Investigators circled the word freedom in red ink. They pulled her social media direct messages. Hundreds of unread messages after she went quiet. Most were supportive. A handful were concerning. October 9th, user at Lone Star Watcher. Saw your van on Farm to Market Road 176 today. Beautiful spot. You alone out here? Careful. Riley replied. Thanks. Yeah, solo life. Always careful. October 10th, at Road King 88. You're prettier in person than your pics. Where you parked tonight? No reply from Riley. Both accounts traced to burner emails. IP addresses bounced through VPNs, dead ends. The parents arrived on October 19th. Riley Harper barely spoke the first day. She sat inside the van, touching Riley's blanket, rocking silently. Mark paced the tree line, fists clenched, asking every officer the same question. What aren't you telling us? A family liaison officer stayed with them 24/7. They held daily press briefings in Conroe, Texas. October 22nd press conference became viral. Emily, eyes swollen. Riley is kind. She sees the good in people. If someone took her, please, let her go. She doesn't deserve this. Mark, voice cracking. We're offering $50,000, no questions asked, for information leading to her safe return. We just want our daughter home. Within 48 hours, the reward climbed to $175,000 through crowdfunding and anonymous donors. Influencers matched donations. A GoFundMe hit $420,000 by Halloween, money earmarked for private investigators, billboards, and search drones. Online sleuths descended. The Reddit community r/Riley Harper, created October 20th, grew to 87,000 members in 3 weeks. Threads analyzed every frame of her final videos. One user noticed a reflection in her sunglasses in an October 8 Instagram story. A silver pickup truck parked 50 yards behind her van. License plate too blurry. Enhancement attempts failed. Another thread mapped her entire 2020 route using geotags. She'd crossed paths with 3 registered sex offenders in the previous 6 months. All cleared after alibi checks. A 4chan/x/ thread claimed she'd been selected by a forest cult. Pure fiction, but it spread anyway. Meanwhile, real tips poured in. The National Missing and Unidentified Persons System, NAMUS, logged over 4,200 tips in the first month. A trucker in Louisiana swore he saw a girl matching Riley's description at a rest stop on Interstate 10, October 13. She looked scared. Guy with her had his hand on her arm. Sketch artist composite released. No hits. A hunter near the van site claimed he heard a woman scream the night of October 11. Thought it was a bobcat at first. Time didn't match cell ping. A Walmart employee in Huntsville, Texas, said a woman bought duct tape, zip ties, and energy drinks on October 12 using Riley's credit card. Card was still in the van. False lead. Security footage showed a completely different person. FBI's Violent Criminal Apprehension Program, VICAP, ran Riley's profile against unsolved abductions in the region. Similarities emerged with 3 cases. 2018. 22-year-old hiker vanished from Big Bend National Park. Car found locked, keys inside. 2019. 25-year-old van lifer disappeared near Roswell, New Mexico. Van torched. 2020. 20-year-old solo traveler missing from Oklahoma's Ouachita Forest. Van intact, phone left behind. No confirmed links. But the pattern chilled investigators. Young women, solo travelers, vans left pristine. By December 2020, the physical search scaled back. Winter weather turned the forest into a swamp. Leads dried up. The case went cold. Officially. But not for the public. Riley's parents kept her accounts active. Emily posted weekly updates in Riley's voice. "Hey guys, Mom here. Still no news, but we haven't given up. If you see anything, call the tip line." A documentary crew followed the family for 6 months in 2021. Vanished. The Riley Harper story streamed on Netflix in 2022. It reignited attention. Another 2 million #FindRileyHarper posts. Private investigator Dana Voss, hired by the family, chased every credible tip. She tracked down the @Lone Star Watcher account to a 58-year-old man in Houston. He admitted driving by the van but claimed he never spoke to Riley. Polygraph inconclusive. No charges. In 2023, a woman in Oregon contacted police claiming she was Riley, living under a new name, escaping fame. DNA proved she was lying. Another hoax. By 2024, most media moved on. The reward sat at $250,000. The case file was thousands of pages thick. Detectives still checked tips weekly, but hope was fading. Then came 2025. If you're still watching at this point, drop a comment with "I'm still here." Let's see who's truly following this shocking story. And if you haven't already, hit that like button. This case is about to take a turn no one saw coming. March 17, 2025. A quiet cul-de-sac in suburban Springfield, Missouri, over 550 miles northeast of where Riley's van was found. The house at 1427 Willow Lane belonged to 47-year-old Gregory Allen Voss. Single. Night shift supervisor at a packaging warehouse. He worked 11 p.m. to 7 a.m., so he was usually asleep or home during the day. Neighbors called him polite but distant. Trimmed lawn. No visitors. Blinds always down. Over recent months, sporadic complaints had come in. Occasional thumps or banging from inside, often in the late afternoon. Faint metallic sounds, like pounding on metal, that started and stopped suddenly. One or two mentions of odd smells from trash, but nothing concrete. March 16, 2025, around 9 p.m. Neighbor Linda Carter called non-emergency. Last night, about 2 a.m., I heard a woman's voice yelling help from that house. Muffled, but clear enough. Then frantic banging, like on a door. It lasted a minute, then quiet. I've heard weird noises from there a few times lately. I'm worried. Dispatch logged it as suspicious circumstances/possible welfare check, assigned to morning patrol. At 10:42 a.m., Officer Ryan Patel pulled up quietly. No lights, no siren. Backup unit with Officers Torres and Reynolds arrived shortly after. Patel knocked firmly. Waited. Knocked again. The door opened after a minute. Gregory Voss appeared in sweatpants and a t-shirt, looking like he'd just woken up. Calm. Slightly irritated. Morning, officers. Something wrong? Patel spoke. Springfield PD. We got a call about possible noises. Someone in distress coming from here last night. Also some reports of banging sounds recently. Mind if we talk? Voss leaned on the door frame, not stepping aside. Distress? Nah, probably just me. I work nights, so during the day I fix things around the house. Basement's half finished. Hammering shelves, moving boxes. It echoes. Sorry if it carried. No one else here. Torres. We'd like to make sure everything's okay. Mind if we step in and take a quick look? Standard procedure for these calls. Voss's jaw tightened. Just a fraction. I appreciate you checking, but really, it's fine. House is a mess. I'm not dressed for company. If you want, I can keep it down from now on. Patel. We just need to confirm no one's hurt. Won't take long. Voss started to reply. Look, At that moment, from below the floorboards, a sudden explosion of sound. Bang. 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 Hard, deliberate pounding on metal. Frantic. Non-stop. Then a raw, hoarse scream. Female. Terrified. Loud enough to carry clearly through the house. Help. Police. I'm down here. He's keeping me locked up. Please help me. Riley. My name is Riley Harper. The voice cracked on the last words, sobbing mixed with more banging. Vasa's face drained of color. He tried to close the door. Patel blocked it with his foot. Step back. Hands where I can see them. Torres hit her radio. 1427 Willow. Female screaming for help from inside. Possible hostage. Need backup now. Voss lunged back into the house, trying to slam the door. Reynolds shoved through, tackled him in the hallway. Voss fought briefly. Wild swings. But was cuffed in seconds. The banging and screams continued from below, louder, more desperate. I'm here. Don't go. Please get me out. Patel kicked the basement door. Locked from the outside. Padlock and slide bolt. Torres ran for bolt cutters from the car. Sirens now wailing as more units arrived. Lock snapped. They descended. Dark concrete stairs. Single bulb at bottom. At the end. Reinforced steel door, scratched and dented from years of attempts. More screams behind it. Bolt cutters again. Door opened. Small windowless room. Mattress on floor. Bucket. Chains on wall. In the corner, gaunt, filthy, but alive, Riley Harper, in a faded hoodie from her last post. She looked up, eyes wide in disbelief, then burst into tears. Patel knelt. Riley, it's over. You're safe. We've got you. She reached out, trembling. After 1612 days, Riley Harper was free. The moment the steel door swung open in that dim basement, time seemed to fracture. Officer Ryan Patel would later say in his report that the first thing he noticed wasn't the smell. Bleach mixed with damp concrete and something sour, like unwashed skin. It wasn't the chains bolted to the wall or the scratched metal door that looked like it had been clawed at for years. It was her eyes. Riley Harper's eyes, once bright and laughing in every Instagram post, were wide, glassy, almost uncomprehending. She was curled on a thin mattress stained with years of use, knees drawn to her chest, wearing the same navy hoodie with the white drawstrings from her last known photo in October 2020. The fabric was threadbare now, frayed at the cuffs. Her hair, once long and sun-bleached, hung in greasy mats past her shoulders. She was thinner than any missing person flyer had shown. Cheekbones sharp, collarbones protruding. But she was breathing. Alive. Riley, Patel said softly, kneeling at the threshold so as not to startle her. My name is Officer Patel. We're here to help you. You're safe now. She stared for a long second, lips trembling, then her voice came out in a broken whisper. Is this real? Torres stepped forward slowly, hands visible. It's real, sweetheart. We've got you. Riley's sob broke free then. Deep, guttural, the kind that comes from somewhere primal. She reached out one shaking hand. Patel took it gently. Her fingers were cold, nails bitten to the quick. Paramedics arrived within minutes. They moved carefully, speaking in low voices, checking vitals. Riley flinched at every touch. Heart rate elevated but stable. Blood pressure low. Signs of severe malnutrition. Dehydration. Bruising on wrists and ankles consistent with prolonged restraint. They wrapped her in a thermal blanket. Placed in 4. Asked gentle questions. Can you tell us your name? Do you know what day it is? Do you know where you are? Riley. My name is Riley Harper. I don't know what day it is. I've been here so long. He kept me. He wouldn't let me go. Upstairs, Gregory Voss sat handcuffed in the back of a patrol car, silent, staring straight ahead. No emotion. No denial. Just empty stillness. Springfield PD called FBI immediately. This was now a federal kidnapping case. Scene secured. Crime scene techs flooded the house within the hour. What they found in that basement painted a picture of calculated, methodical captivity. The room was approximately 8 feet by 10 feet. Concrete walls. No windows. Single steel door with external deadbolt and padlock. Soundproofing material stapled to ceiling and walls, explaining why neighbors heard so little for so long. A twin mattress on a metal frame, bolted to floor. Chains mounted to wall, long enough to reach a makeshift toilet, a bucket with a lid, but not the door. A small folding table. Plastic plates, cups. A mini fridge, unplugged, used for storage. Stacks of canned food. Bottled water. On the walls, scratch marks. Hundreds of them. Tally marks counting days. Messages. Help. Please. Mom. Dad. Miss you. A calendar, handmade from torn cardboard, marking time. October 2020 through March 2025. Some days circled. Some crossed out. Some with words. His birthday. My birthday. Christmas. Alone. Personal items. Clothes, worn and rewashed countless times. A toothbrush. A bar of soap. No phone. No electronics. No connection to the outside world except what Voss allowed. Forensic teams photographed everything. Collected DNA. Fibers. Fingerprints. Upstairs, Voss's life appeared mundane. Small 2-bedroom house. Kitchen. Living room with TV and recliner. One bedroom for him. The other, a storage room. Garage filled with tools, a workbench, and a locked cabinet containing zip ties, duct tape, rope, and a taser. Computer seized. Hard drive would reveal months of surveillance. Photos of Riley from her Instagram. Screenshots of her location tags. A timeline of her route through Texas. Evidence he'd been following her online, planning. In Voss's bedroom, a journal. Entries dating back to September 2020. September 15, 2020. Found her account. She's perfect. Alone. Trusts everyone. No one would notice if she disappeared for a while. October 2, 2020. Tracked her to New Mexico. She's heading toward Texas soon. I'll be ready. October 11, 2020. Followed her to the forest. Waited until dark. She was taking photos at the overlook. Easy. Taser. Zip ties. Into the truck. Van left behind. Perfect. October 12, 2020. She's in the basement now. Screamed a lot at first. She'll learn. They always do. The entries continued. Cold. Detached. Documenting his control. Her resistance. His punishments. FBI Behavioral Analysis Unit profiled Voss as a predatory offender with characteristics of both organized and mission-oriented kidnapping. He'd selected Riley specifically. Planned meticulously. Created a controlled environment to exert total dominance. Riley was transported to Mercy Hospital Springfield under heavy security. Media already gathering outside. Word had leaked. #Riley found was trending before she even reached the ER. Doctors conducted a full examination. Physical trauma consistent with long-term confinement. Muscle atrophy from limited movement. Vitamin deficiencies. Dental issues. Psychological trauma, severe. Emily and Mark Harper were notified at 11:37 a.m. They'd been home in Seattle, living in a state of suspended grief for 4 years, 4 months, and 6 days. Emily collapsed when she got the call. Mark couldn't speak. Just kept saying, "She's alive. She's really alive." They boarded the first flight to Missouri. Arrived that evening. The reunion happened in a private hospital room. No cameras. No press. Just a mother, a father, and the daughter they thought they'd lost forever. Emily walked in first, saw Riley in the bed, and froze. Riley looked up, eyes filling with tears, and whispered, "Mom." Emily ran. Held her. Sobbed into her hair. "I knew you were out there. I knew it. I never stopped looking." Mark stood in the doorway, unable to move, tears streaming. Riley reached out. "Dad. Come here." He broke. Knelt beside the bed. Took her hand. "We've got you now, Riley. You're safe. You're home." They stayed with her through the night. Holding her hand. Telling her everything she'd missed. That they never gave up. That the world had been searching. That she was loved. Riley spoke little that first night. Mostly listened. Cried. Held on. Over the following days, FBI conducted careful, trauma-informed interviews. Riley recounted her ordeal in fragments, as much as she could bear. October 11, 2020. She'd driven to a scenic overlook she'd found online. Parked. Walked to the edge to take photos of the sunset. Heard footsteps behind her. Turned. Saw a man, middle-aged, average build, smiling. Thought he was another hiker. He asked if she needed help with photos. She said no, thank you. He stepped closer. Said he'd been following her journey online. Loved her posts. She felt uneasy. Started walking back toward the van. He followed. Asked where she was headed next. She lied, said she was meeting friends nearby. He pulled a taser. Hit her in the back. She collapsed, muscles seizing, unable to scream. He zip-tied her wrists, ankles. Duct tape over her mouth. Dragged her to a truck hidden in the trees. Threw her in the back, covered with a tarp. Drove for hours. She was conscious but paralyzed with fear. Eventually stopped. Pulled her out. Carried her into a house. Down into a basement. Into that room. He chained her to the wall. Removed the tape. Told her the rules. No screaming. No fighting. Obey, and she'd be fed. Disobey, and she'd go hungry. For the first weeks, she screamed anyway. Begged. He ignored her. Sometimes didn't come down for days. She learned the sound of his footsteps above. The creak of the basement door. The lock sliding open. He brought food. Water. Occasionally allowed her a shower under supervision in a utility sink. Gave her clean clothes, always the same few items. Controlled everything. He never physically assaulted her sexually. His control was psychological. Isolation. Dependency. He wanted her broken, compliant, existing only in the world he created. Months blurred together. She tried to keep track of time. Made the calendar. Counted days. Celebrated birthdays alone. Cried herself to sleep most nights. She attempted escape twice. Once, she loosened a chain bolt. He caught her. Took away her mattress for a week. She slept on concrete. The second time, she tried to rush him when he opened the door. He tossed her again. Added a second lock. After the first year, she stopped fighting. Fell into a numb routine. Survival mode. Waiting. Hoping. Praying someone would find her. She asked him once why he took her. He said, "Because I could. Because you were alone. Because no one was watching." She asked if he'd let her go. He said, "Maybe. Someday. When I'm done." Years passed. She lost hope. Thought about her parents. Wondered if they thought she was dead. If they'd moved on. If anyone still remembered her. Then, March 16, 2025, she heard something different. Voices outside the house. Louder than usual. Neighbor, maybe. She started banging on the door. On the walls. Screaming. It was a desperate, last attempt. The next morning, she heard the doorbell. Voices. His voice, calm, deflecting. She banged harder. Screamed louder. Heard the word police. Then footsteps. Door breaking. Light. Faces. Freedom. Gregory Allen Voss was charged with kidnapping, unlawful restraint, and multiple counts of federal abduction. Missouri prosecutors added state charges. He faced life without parole, minimum. At his arraignment, he stood silent. Entered a not guilty plea through his attorney. Showed no remorse. No emotion. Evidence was overwhelming. Riley's testimony. Physical evidence. His journal. Surveillance. DNA. Forensics. Trial was set for fall 2025, but legal experts predicted a plea deal. Defense had no viable strategy. Riley's recovery began slowly. Physically, she gained weight, regained strength, underwent dental work, and physical therapy. Psychologically, the journey was longer. PTSD, anxiety, night terrors, trust issues. She worked with trauma specialists, therapists. Her parents never left her side. Slowly, she started reclaiming pieces of herself. In late April 2025, Riley gave her first and only interview, recorded at an undisclosed location, released through her family's attorney. She sat with her parents, looking healthier but still fragile. Spoke in a quiet, steady voice. "I want to thank everyone who never stopped looking for me. Who kept my name alive. Who believed I was still out there. You gave my parents hope when they had none. You kept the pressure on. You're the reason I'm here today." To other young women traveling alone, please be careful. Trust your instincts. If something feels wrong, it probably is. Don't let fear stop you from living, but don't ignore the red flags. To my captor, I forgive you. Not for you, but for me. I won't let you have any more of my life. You took 1612 days. You don't get another second. I'm going to heal. I'm going to live. And I'm going to make sure this never happens to anyone else if I can help it. She paused, wiping tears. Then looked directly into the camera. I'm Riley Harper. I survived. And I'm not going anywhere. The interview went viral. 50 million views in 3 days. Hashtag Riley Strong replaced hashtag Find Riley Harper. Support poured in from around the world. Riley started a foundation in late 2025. The Riley Harper Safety Initiative focused on educating solo travelers, providing resources for missing persons' families, and funding search and rescue operations. She didn't return to social media as an influencer. That life was gone. But she used her platform for advocacy. Speaking engagements. Awareness campaigns. Turning her trauma into purpose. Gregory Voss pled guilty in October 2025 to avoid trial. Sentenced to life in prison without possibility of parole. He never apologized. Never explained. Just accepted his fate in silence. Riley attended the sentencing. Sat in the front row. Looked him in the eye as the judge read the sentence. He looked away. Afterward, she told reporters, "I needed to see him one last time. To know he can't hurt anyone ever again. Now I can finally close this chapter." Today, Riley lives quietly in an undisclosed location with her parents. She's writing a book. Continuing therapy. Rebuilding her life piece by piece. Her van, Wanderlust, was returned to the family. Emily wanted to burn it. Mark wanted to restore it. Riley wanted to donate it. They compromised. It sits in a storage unit, preserved as evidence, a relic of a life interrupted. Her story became a cautionary tale. A testament to resilience. A reminder that monsters hide in plain sight, and miracles happen when people refuse to give up. 1612 days. 4 years, 4 months, 6 days. Stolen. But not wasted. Because Riley Harper came back. Not broken. Bent, yes. Scarred, absolutely. But still here. Still fighting. Still alive. And that's the story of Riley Harper. The influencer who vanished. The girl who survived. The woman who refused to let darkness win. If this story moved you, if Riley's strength inspired you, I need you to do something for me. Hit that like button. Subscribe to Cold Case YTJ so you never miss another story that needs to be told. Share this video with everyone you know, because Riley's message deserves to be heard. Drop a comment below telling me what you think, how this case affected you, or share your own story if you feel moved to. Your engagement keeps these cases alive. It keeps the pressure on. It reminds the world that every missing person matters. Every voice deserves to be heard. Every family deserves answers. Thank you for watching. Thank you for caring. And remember, stay safe out there. Stay vigilant. And never stop hoping. Because sometimes, even after 1612 days, miracles happen. I'll see you in the next one. This is Cold Case YTJ, signing off.